This is Olof from Enforcer, and you're listening to That Metal Interview Podcast.
That Metal Interview.
A Swedish band hails from Sweden, of course, and our next guest on this episode of That Metal Interview, we have Olof Wikstrand, frontman, vocalist slash guitarist for the band Enforcer. It's a metal band for sure. You guys be the judge of that. Right now, we're going to check out their newest video and single, Metal Supremacia. Here's Enforcer. We'll be right back. Metal Supremacia in Spanish, the band Enforcer hailing from the country of Sweden. And we have Olof Wikstrand with us to talk about the band's newest record album, Nostalgia. And the frontman speaks to us about the current status of the band. And I also ask him if anybody has ever asked him that he sounds like Jason McMaster of Dangerous Toys Watchtower. That's just my opinion and my comparison right there. And he answers a question and he tells us a little story about meeting Jason McMaster in Austin, Texas, as two of Enforcer's members are from the state of Texas. And he'll talk about it. So let's go straight into the interview with Olof Wikstrand of the band Enforcer. Enjoy. Which part of the world are you at?
I'm in Stockholm, Sweden, North Europe.
Very cool. How's the weather up there?
Spring has come. It's pretty nice. It's like, let's say it's like in the upper 70s.
Okay.
Sunny, nice, cold nights. Where are you?
I'm in Texas, the U.S.
Oh, nice. Where about?
Texas, about 2 hours from San Antonio. It's
2 hours from San Antonio.
yeah,
That's nice. We half of the band. We have our drummer live in San Antonio and our bass player live in Austin.
really.
So we're a Sweden/Texas band.
Oh, really? Wow, I did not know that.
Oh, you learn something every day.
Wow, very cool. So my neighbors are part of Enforcer. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, has anybody told you you sound like Jason McMaster of Dangerous Toys?
Oh, that's a friend of mine.
Really? I hope that's a compliment. And you guys are badass singers, both of you.
Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, dude. No, he's a great guy. I have a funny story. I met him when I was walking the streets of Austin. I was just like seeing this guy. I didn't recognize him. I just know him from what he used to look like back in the day. Oh, that dude's got a Watchtower shirt. I was like, hey, dude, nice shirt. It's like, oh yeah. It's like, yeah, you want it, and who are you? Like, and then we started to talk, and it turned out to be him, and we had a great talk for half an hour, and then
Nice. So you just ran into him in the street?
yeah, he was cleaning out his mom's old house or something, and was like throwing junk in like a container or something.
Wow. Very cool. Wow, what a coincidence. What a meeting.
What are the odds?
What are the odds of running into Jason McMaster? So let's speak of your new album, Nostalgia. It's out now. Talk to us about the making of it. Who wrote the riffs and the lyrics, arrangements, and all that?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Who wrote the lyrics? Who's the lyricist? Who is the riff master?
I think it's different on every song. We basically songwriting revolves around my brother and I. So we write the majority of stuff together, and sometimes I write more stuff and sometimes he writes more stuff, and yeah. So it's different on every song, I would say.
Yeah. I noticed the song Metal Supremacia. That's in Spanish?
Yeah.
Right?
It's in Spanish, correct.
Very cool, wow. So whose idea was it to name the band Enforcer? What's behind that?
That was, I guess, my idea from the beginning.
It's a cool name, don't get me wrong.
Thanks, dude. How did that came about? I guess we started out, even though I had like pretty great intentions. Like, I was young, dude. I was like 18 years old when I put this band together, and I think that like the first. I just pretty much wanted to do like a new wave of British heavy metal band, more or less, like almost like erotic of new wave of British heavy metal. So when I first came up with the band name Enforcer, that was like something that I felt could fit right into like 1981 England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
And I wanted to have like a hockey team. 80s hockey team logo with it. Yeah.
I saw that. As far as this new album, was it built during the pandemic, or was this just recently written, or how long did it take to write this record?
We started to write it during the pandemic. Stuff like calmed down for us. Didn't get to play so much, so we were. I was dead scared to get like. To get like quarantined.
Yeah.
Like most other countries, you had like restrictions. You couldn't go out. You couldn't travel. So I was like, I at that time I was living alone in Stockholm. So I was like dead afraid of being stuck alone in my small downtown apartment without anyone. So I before any lockdown or anything happened, I fled to my parents' house, like in a small town, like 3 hours from here, and I like took the basement of my parents' house.
Oh wow.
And then nothing happened, no work, no nothing. It was just like I got to do something creative of this time, so I started to like compose riffs. I had like got to do something creative, man. I gotta write a song a day. So my goal was to write one song per day, and this was like March, April 2020. So I did that. Not everything turned out great, but most of the stuff turned out to like be the foundation of this new album.
Nice. So when somebody listens to Enforcer, you can't help but notice your awesome voice, man. You have an awesome,
Thanks, dude.
badass
Yeah.
voice for sure. How did you build that? Did you take classes, or are you just a natural, or what happened there?
I'm completely self-taught. I have a stupid vocal technique, honestly. It's like everything that you don't want to do to your voice. But that's kind of, I developed it, instinctively. I just wanted to hit higher notes, and I was like, to make higher notes, I guess I have to push it harder. So I was just like pushing it, and just getting louder and louder and putting more power in it. And that's kind of how I developed it. When I sing, man, you can't, I'm so loud, you can't even be in the same room because I like push it to the limit. I know now that that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to like be gentle with the voice.
The dynamics.
But that's how I developed my vocal style, just coincidentally.
Yeah, like just one volume. Yeah. Wow, very cool.
Yeah. It sucks because I'm always like, it's like every time I do a concert, I'm completely worn out afterwards. I wish I had better vocal technique, but I guess that's the effect of like teaching yourself something and just like go with the flow, do whatever feels good at the moment.
I understand that. I'm also a singer here at a local band in Texas.
Oh, you're, yeah.
I mean, a guitar player.
Cool.
First, I'm a guitar player, and then I'm a singer. I got that Hetfield mid thing voice. I don't have a voice like yours, of course, but I understand the techniques and this and that. So, which is your favorite song on Nostalgia?
Every song. I can't like pick out one. I think it's a bunch of great songs, and every time I listen to like the next song that comes out, I get like, whoa, this is great. I'm happy with the album. I think it turned out more or less exactly the way I intended it to come out.
This is what you envisioned, okay? What
you do some hard work, and you work until you're. I basically worked with this album every day for more than 3 years. So it's just the result of really hard work.
A lot of hard work, a lot of hours of. Some people think people slap on songs together and press record and just record whatever and jam out, but there's a lot of work behind songs, right? Arranging, lyrics.
Oh yeah, man.
This fits here, this doesn't fit here. Erase that bridge. And there's a lot of work behind that. People just press play on Spotify. Yeah, they're not aware of all this stuff. So, what's behind the title Nostalgia? Why that title for the album?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. It started with that this is like a strong emotion, I guess, that most people can relate to somehow. And I like, using things that everybody can build a personal relation to or have a personal relation to. I guess nostalgia means different things to different people. And I think that's a good thing when you're composing something, because everybody gets to build their own relationship to what I'm singing about. My perspective on this, I in the song and in the album concept, I think a lot about thinking back of times that are gone, and see the passage of time and how that changes things, all organic matter, more or less, and that it's eventually gonna eat everything and destroy everything what's around us and what we know today.
Very cool explanation there. Well, the word nostalgia says a lot there, so I agree. It's pretty cool. What genre do you think you guys are? What's Enforcer? What would you label it? Is it speed metal? Is it heavy metal? Or just...
I say heavy metal. And with heavy metal, I don't mean... Like, some people use the term heavy metal as like a general description of metal in general. But to me, heavy metal is a subgenre, just as thrash metal, speed metal, death metal, black metal. Heavy metal is a subgenre of metal itself. And to explain heavy metal, is like, it's melodic music, rock metal music with the roots in like the mid-1970s. And heavy metal would be everything from, I guess, Deep Purple, Rainbow, Scorpions, Iron Maiden, Saxon, Motorhead, Judas Priest, up to Venom, Exciter, and early Metallica. And that's, before before it transited into thrash metal, which is kind of an extreme form of heavy metal.
So, how is this album different than Zenith? How would you say it's different? Would you say it's a continuation?
This album was, we thought about a lot, like every song should be different to each other. It was a very ambitious album where we had like very complex song structures, tempo changes, key changes, lots of like epic stuff, long songs, like progressive stuff in there in order to make an album that was complex. I think this is the opposite. I think this is a very straightforward album, short songs, you know, and very digestible songs. You know, all the songs are really like a hit and run bangers. I think like a best of album, more or less. You know, every song should be like representative, like work as a representative single of the album.
Agreed. So, which was your first band? Going back to your past, were you a teenager? Were you a little bit older when you first started with a band?
Played music since before I have any memories, but one of the first bands that I like, one of the first bands where we actually had songs, recorded songs, it was a band called Broken Silence, and that must have been, I can't remember when we started that, but I think I was 10 years old.
Wow.
We rehearsed in the basement of our parents. It was my brother, who's also now in Enforcer, and me and a friend of mine from my like elementary school class who played bass. He got a bass in like a Christmas present. So we put a band together when we were 10 years old, and we played together. And at first it didn't sound very impressive, I guess, but as time passed, you know, we got better and better, and we recorded a demo in 1999 in a professional studio, which is pretty great, actually. I mean, for what it is, it's like a bunch of 13-year-olds, you know, playing metal. That was my first band. My second band after that, then I played in different, you know, similar bands and different constellations around that. But then my first real band where we were a bunch of like musicians was a black metal band that we called Galtra, which was formed in 99, I think, or yeah, it was formed in 1999, and we played like Scandinavian black metal.
Wow, very cool. Different genres there. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it was a lot of like stuff going around, and development went really fast, you know.
You also play guitar, right? So when did you pick up the guitar? About the same age?
You know, I took it like 5 years old, maybe.
5? Wow.
Yeah.
So you just basically, I think you're reborn, I think, or you're, what do you call that?
Born to do it.
You're just born with that. Huh? I mean, 5 years old. I have a 7-year-old kid, and he's not jamming the guitar. He's not what you have.
We're from a very musical family. Our dad is a violin player. He plays in a classical orchestra and stuff like that. And our mother is like also schooled musician, so it's very natural for us to pick up that path. I think we had different bands together, and we were very encouraged as like children to write songs. We had like, before I can even remember, I had like a band together with my dad, and we were writing lyrics, and like he was playing the boogie piano and I was like singing or playing the maracas or like just hitting a guitar. We would record stuff together, and yeah, we had a bunch of songs, and that must have been like when I was like 3 years old or something.
That really helps.
So wow. We were, yeah. So that was like, that's where it comes from.
Musical family. There's a background there. Yeah. Very cool. So who are your heroes? Who are your musical influences here?
Right now, or in my life, or to create, when we created the Enforcer, or when?
Both. Maybe what did you grow up listening to, and who are your heroes now?
I mean, I first growing up, like in my childhood, in my earliest childhood, it was like I guess the music that my mom and dad projected on me. It was a lot of Rolling Stones, the Beatles, stuff that my mom and dad was into, like folk music, like country music, bluegrass music, Cajun music. I remember I really liked it a lot when I was a kid. Lots of different stuff, I guess. Rolling Stones became one of my favorite bands. Like when I was like 3-4 years old. But then eventually my cousin, like my older cousin, got me a tape with Metallica, and that must have been in '92 or something. So I was probably like 5 years old.
Black Album.
Exactly. Yeah. It had just come out, and I got that a few songs off of Black Album and a few songs off of Justice for All, and on a mixtape. And I played that mixtape until it literally broke. And I was hooked. That was like I realized with what, like, oh, this is what I can do with music. You know, it was like such a aha moment, like an Archimedes moment.
Yeah, this is my future here. Yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So from then on, it was only rock music. But I mean, I had periods in my life where I've been listening to pretty much everything. So what inspires me now is everything. Mostly when it comes to like composing music, it's a lot of like, even though I have the roots in classic heavy metal, I think that what inspires me to write music is a lot of classical music. Like the phrasings and the guitar solo stuff. That's stuff like that Mozart or Vivaldi, lots of that stuff that inspires me to play music. But also like other guitar players, I really like Eric Johnson from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously Uli John Roth from the Scorpions.
Oh yeah.
Richie Blackmore, Yngwie Malmsteen. You know, that stuff that I would like carefully listen to.
Great guitar players.
Yeah.
So here's a different question, Olof. Give us your best gig so far, and give us your worst gig so far.
With Enforcer or as a visitor?
Throughout your life, what's your worst gig and your best?
That I've been playing or that I've been seeing?
Playing on stage. I guess your best experience on stage and your worst, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the best shows that we ever did was a kind of a recent show that we did in Mexico City, where I felt that everything was just right. It was like a sold out, almost like an arena, and like tons of people, super dedicated fans, and we made like an hour and a half set just playing our music, and we really felt, you know, the energy from the audience in every second of the show. One of the worst moments, I don't know, but it's like a lot of like US tour 2009, going with a van, playing like places that doesn't really have a scene, like Oklahoma or Boise or or you know, just cities like that in the middle of nowhere in Nebraska. People literally playing shows in front of 5 people.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of embarrassed. It really sucks, and you question yourself what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
But you know, eventually, you know, you come out on the other side, on the other side, and you get to San Diego or California, and you start to like do proper shows again, and people come out to the shows. So, but in between there, you really question yourself.
Yeah, like what am I doing here in front of 5 people? Yeah, but I mean, if you look at, there's a different way to look at it. Yeah, I mean, you can also say, you know what, there's also metalheads in this area, and maybe there's only 10 metalheads, but you know, I get to sell 10 albums here or something, or 10 tickets, you know.
Yeah, well, that's true, but I mean, that's not why you created the band that we're playing in front of 10 people. That's for sure.
Right.
But I do appreciate every single person reporting what we do, coming out to our shows. That's what it's about, and yeah.
So you guys just started a couple of You did a couple of gigs. You started a tour, if I can say that. How's that going so far?
Well, we've been playing pretty consequently, like for the past years.
Okay.
For the past year. We played last weekend in Athens and one outside of Paris. It was the first time that we really played new songs and had our new with all the new stage props and stuff like that, like with this album cycle. Felt great. I think we did proper proper shows, and this weekend we'll go to Rock Hard Festival in Germany to perform at that festival, and then we had a bunch of more festivals coming up this summer.
How many new songs you guys?
We're based out of Stockholm, and we fly in and out, so it's like it's not a proper tour. It's like a festival tour, so we play weekends more or less.
Yeah, just flying in, flying out.
Yeah.
So how many new songs you guys doing live on this run?
We prepared 3 new songs so far, but I guess we're gonna see how, use the good old trial and error method to see what songs work and which songs doesn't work. So we'll try them one by one, I guess. It depends on how the new album lands with the fans, and how much the fans really want to hear the new stuff, or if they prefer to hear the old stuff. Eventually, everything is about the crowd reaction,
It's all good stuff to me, so either song will work. They're all rockers, and they're all metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any U.S. dates in the future, maybe?
I hope so. It's really hard for a band like us to tour the States, since we need proper visas. Even though we're half based in America, it's a hassle to get me a visa because I don't have a green card.
That's right, the visa.
Yeah, and it's really expensive, and it's just getting more and more expensive all the time. So what you had to do is book a lot of shows to cover for the visas. I don't think that people know how much those visas cost, but it could be $5,000 for a band, or even more, $6,000 for a band. And you gotta do pretty solid shows to earn that money back, and that's flights and transportation excluded. Yeah. You have pretty serious startup costs to tour the States. So, but we've been lucky enough to do that. I think we've been on 4 US tours altogether, so we know that we have a lot of fans in the US. The US is actually our strongest market. It's our biggest market, so it's really important for us to maintain that market also. So sooner or later we're gonna make it. I'm thinking about getting a more permanent visa situation in the States, even though it will be more pricey, but it's gonna make us being able to play more in the States also. Nice.
So what's next for yourself, Olof? What's up after these interviews and these shows? What's next for the band?
We're gonna do a European tour in the autumn, and first we played all these huge rock festivals in Europe, and then a European tour, and then I don't really know. We haven't really. It seriously depends on how this album lands and where this can bring us. What situation this album puts us in, and what the demand would be for us to come out and play these songs live.
Understood. Before we let you go, Olof, would you like to send a message to your fans and friends listening to this podcast?
Yeah, we can send a message. Whoever listens to this, appreciate you taking your time. Hope you found the new album Nostalgia listenable. I hope to see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Olof. Thank you for your time, and it's great chatting with you. You're a very cool person, and hopefully we'll see you in the U.S. soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a good time. Thank you.
What a conversation, what a chat with Mr. Wikstrand, frontman and guitarist for the Swedish quartet Enforcer. Don't forget to support them on their socials. Don't forget to visit them live. Check them out, support them. Go to the merch booth, purchase, as that will help the band with expenses and blah blah blah, right? So go support them on their socials, also YouTube channel and this and that. So look them up, Enforcer, ENFORCER. the newest album, Nostalgia, and the newest single/video, Metal Supremacia, in the Spanish language, which is awesome. Awesome metal for you guys. Check it out. As far as our podcast, thank you guys. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, check out our social pages, and don't forget to keep it metal.
That metal interview.